Books you won't put down. Grab the House of Lazenberry series by author Daniel Webb. Since his controversial interview at the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast, the books can't stay on the shelf. Grab the series, The House of Lazenberry, The House of Lazenberry 1970H, and The House of Lazenberry, A Time to Heal. Link in the description box.
It's Mike Ross, also known as Mike on the Mic. He's getting ready for his upcoming 2022 comedy run. He'll be kicking it off at Benny Brand's Stress Factory Comedy Club. Caroline's on Broadway. Punchline Philly. You don't want to miss him take the stage at the DC Improv. Then he'll be coming to the Atlanta Improv and at Chocolate Sundays Comedy Show in Los Angeles, California.
All right, and we're probably going to start with this. I don't know yet. The YG and Tyga dress up as white chicks in their new music video. Shocking the internet. Got everybody going crazy. Everybody talking. Where should we start, Sam? I'll let you pick.
Let's do that. Let's go right there.
That.
Let's start right with that shit, man. So we came into the studio today, and I asked, did you see the video? You said, yeah, you saw it a couple minutes ago, man. And goddamn, you got the backstory for that shit, man?
Yeah, well, I guess it's the 18th anniversary for the movie White Chicks. You know, Marlon, Shawn Wayans, they did that movie. It was a big hit back then. Well, they actually, are commemorating that with a song, and they actually dressed up as white chicks. They were in a Ferrari, I think out in Calabasas, California and whatnot. The video's all over right now. As you guys can see there on the screen, we'll show a clip of it. I'm gonna let you go first on this one, man, because people call me the conspiracy guy, the people in the black dress thing, and everybody wears the black dress. So let me hear what you got to say, then I get my spill, my 1-2 on it.
We talked about this for a long time on this podcast, you know what I'm saying? Asking the question whether or not Hollywood forces our black men to throw on these dresses and do these things. And we've gotten a different variety of answers from people that we've gotten an opportunity to interview. When I saw it, obviously, I just kind of rolled my eyes because although I love Martin, I think Martin is one of the greatest top 5 comedians of all times. I did not like when he did his mom. I did not like when he did Shanae. I wasn't cool with him doing Big Mama's House.
Right.
I just wasn't a fan. Although I think Jamie Foxx is one of the greatest entertainers of all time.
Yeah.
I didn't like when he did Wanda. I wasn't cool as much as respect as I have for the Wayans family and everything that they put into this industry as independent artists and doing their thing, as incredible as they are. I did not like white chicks. I'm not a fan of watching our brothers throw on women's clothes, act like women, and be berated around. I'm not cool with it. I did not like when Tyler Perry did it and continues to do it. Now that man can't even be considered as a man. They want to see this motherfucker in a Medea costume. So I'm not cool with it. I don't like it. I'm not about to sit back and go absolutely crazy. I don't know if this is a situation where a ritual was being done or anything to that level. I think this is just another attempt for attention from two brothers in the hip hop industry, and I have my right not to like it, and I don't like it.
Yeah, and it's like that shock value thing, I think, has been taken way out of context now. I think when those guys were doing it, like your Martins and your Jamie Foxx, I think they were genuinely trying to be funny.
Me too.
Now I think it's just more so of a all right, everybody's talking down about this. Let's just do it. And like you said earlier, I got to echo these sentiments. I would not expect YG to do something like this. Now, Tyga, that's one thing, you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be, we see him with a lot of women all the time doing this thing and all that, and apparently he's respected, out that way. But YG, I don't know what type of message, and that's the important thing. We had Bizarre on here yesterday, and he talked about how influential music was, and he ain't the first, and he ain't gonna be the last. And we understand that music is very influential, but what you do outside of music is influential as well. And I just don't know. To me, it sends mixed signals to the children. As much as people are going to say, oh, it's just acting, it's just this. I just, I can't sit up here and really just say, like you said, that it's an real. I can say it's an agenda, but I just, when the sick actors and directors are coming to you guys with these weird ideas, why don't you just say no? Like, why do you feel like you got to do this? Why do you feel like you got to dress up as a woman? I don't know, man. I was just raised a certain way, that a man behaved a certain type of way. Like, it would never be cool for me to playing with Barbies when I was coming up. It would never be cool for me to have a purse on, putting stockings on and doing mannerisms that women did and all that. And girls, it just wasn't cool. It was, all right, this is what a man does. This is how he reacts. This is how he moves. And I just think that it sends all the wrong messages, to the children who that's what we're talking right now. Forget the old people. You guys are stuck in ways. To the children, it's like, whoa, all the fans of YG and Tyga was like, oh, okay. It's an agenda, it seems like, being pushed on the youth for them to accept this, in my opinion.
Or to be promoted. And that's the scary part. Why are you promoting this? Why are we acting as if this is I don't want to say a lifestyle choice, because at the end of the day, we are sitting here promoting on who people sleep with, who people are intimate with, who people are share intimate feelings with. And why are we projecting that shit on our kids? And as innocent as people may think the situation is, where you got rappers out here that are influential to young brothers and young sisters, thinking it's okay to dress as women, is not. Like you said, the Barbie thing, that made me laugh, because obviously I got a daughter at home and she got every Barbie in the world, but I make sure if I'm playing with her, I got a couple brothers in there that I can go and grab real quick, and I could be the dad in that motherfucker if I got to play, because I want to set an example for my daughter that I don't know what these other men are out here doing now, because I'm sure you see a lot, but this man in this house, your dad, we don't play that shit at all. You know what I'm saying? And the example has to be set, because these kids are getting thrown everything right now, and they're getting thrown to the wolves.
I just, not to say that, and I always got to keep going back to this, not to say that there never were other men or other races that would do stuff like this. I'm sure.
See it all the time.
I see it all the time, but in hip hop, it just seems like it's just being made a mockery of with stuff like this, and even Black Hollywood. It's like, why so many? This thing is supposed to be done with. The stress thing, you know what I mean? But now you guys are coming out here, and now the rappers is doing it. Like, this gotta be the first. This is the first time a rapper has done this, right?
I've never seen no shit like this before. I'm sure there's been rappers that do it, but
shit.
not
maybe
on
behind
this
the scenes and shit, and
yeah, definitely behind the
parties
scenes.
and shit after, you know what I mean, stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I don't want to ever come off like we're haters or we're overreacting to anything like this. But I think they take a big fat L, both of them. I mean, you a gangster, blood, all this and that, but you put on a dress, dog?
I'm a fan of YG. I got no problem with Tyga. I don't like this.
What would Nipsey have said? You think Nipsey Hussle would have been cool with this? Honestly?
I never met the brother, but I don't.
Come on, man.
And most importantly, I don't see him doing that. I don't see him, after hearing the body of work that he put out, doing that, knowing the reputation as a man that he has. What he does behind closed doors, it's none of our business and none of anybody's business. What YG does behind his doors or what Tyga does behind his doors, but what you promote out here, I don't know. I wouldn't expect YG to do that.
This is how fake the industry is, because you have all these platforms out there, and none of the platforms will ever speak out against it. You know why? Because they might want to have an interview with YG one day. They might want YG or Tyga to come on the show with different things like that. Yeah. But they will never tell the truth. They'll sit back and they won't say anything. They act like they never seen it. That's where we separate ourselves, because even at the end of the day, we can still talk about them and still bring them on the show, and then bring them on the show and ask them, like, dog, why the hell you do that? And I'm sure they would come up with an explanation on why. I just can't see no man, you know what I mean, doing this. I just can't.
I don't see why they would need to. I don't see why YG needs to do this. I don't see why Tyga needs to do this. And that's what makes me go, damn, is this a shock value, attention type grabbing? Because I don't see a director going, I want y'all to dress as women. And they go, I think if we don't do this, what's going to happen? Nah, I think that they was cool with it.
And it worked. It worked. And it worked because it's like, all right, the thing, remember, it's for the white chicks thing, right? Mm. So now it's like, all right, maybe probably give a damn about the anniversary. Now people care about the anniversary.
Didn't even know it was an anniversary.
Right. But now people care now, because now these two rappers that are supposed to be heterosexual males that got women bouncing their ass all over the video every time, now dress as bras. And it's not even just dressed as bras, but it's dancing around with woman mannerisms and shit in the car. Totally sending mixed signals to the youth, man. You guys ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. I'll be the first guy to say it. You guys ought to be ashamed of your damn self to do something like this. It wasn't needed.
Agreed. Let me ask you this. I don't think we've ever talked about this. Do you have a problem with women dressing as men? I'll answer first. I'll let you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
I do.
But what is that? What do you consider dressing as a man, I would say? Because sometimes women can put jeans on and different things. So yeah.
I mean, okay. And I don't and I know this could go down a slippery slope, because now we got people within the community, LGBTQ, all that community, that dress as men and want to be accepted as that. I'm talking, let's just strip that down and talk about more so for acting. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see women dressing as men and trying to be a man either. I think that that's a terrible message that we get sent to thinking that a woman can fit a man's role too. It starts kind of mixing signals with both what's the word I'm looking
Genders?
for? With genders, right? I just don't like it. You ain't supposed to mix that shit, in my opinion. And you don't get to see it as much for us to talk about as much. It's not blatantly thrown in our face,
right?
But I'm not the biggest fan of that either. I just wanted to put that out there.
Are we outdated? Are we old school? Are we not too accepting of this new way of life that seems like it's being pushed on us? Do you think that's that? Or do you think that we got a strong stance to stand on with this?
It's definitely not an old way of thinking. I wouldn't put that out there, because if that's the case, then heterosexual men are being put under attack because we got morals. You know what I'm saying? We got standards that we want to stand on and live by. I don't have a problem with you and who you sleep with or what you want to put on or anything like that. But when you start putting it in cartoons, when you start putting it in hip hop, when you start putting it in things where subconsciously you're putting messages in children's mind. And now we see 8th grade graduations. I just went to an 8th grade graduation, and I swear half the kids were homosexual. And it's accepted. It's like it wasn't that many closet homosexuals in our class 20 years ago. It's being projected. It's being promoted. It's being put in these kids' head, and they think it's cool. And I guarantee you, most of these kids that are doing that now, 4 years later, won't even feel that way. That just goes to show you how fucked up this shit is.
When people talk about like population control and then wanting to, reduce the population, it kind of makes you start to wonder, because why would anybody, try to promote anything that's anti-life? And what I mean by that is that it's always been, since whether you believe in God, evolution, whatever you believe in, it's for the human race, right? It's always been a man and a woman. Man and a woman, him putting his sperm, her egg, they fertilizing, and new life being born to populate the earth. It's always been that. So for anybody to promote anything outside of that, to me, it makes me like that big question mark pops up in the top of your head. Like, okay, like I have cousins, people that are practice the homosexual lifestyle, still love them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Will never stop loving them.
Facts.
They partners, everybody cool and all that. But
Facts.
you got to ask yourself, like, okay, who will be promoting this and why at the end of the day?
Right. What you do with your life is your business, but what you
Right.
promote is something completely different.
Right.
I know homosexuals that don't really like the promotion out there the way it is, because they feel like it's an agenda. Of course, they want to. If you want to get married, go ahead. It shouldn't be nobody's business for you to get married. Go do your thing. You want to live with them, cool. It's no problem.
Right.
But when we start signing legislation that this needs to be taught in schools, in primary schools, wait
Right.
a fucking minute, why?
Right.
It's just, I don't know, why does gender have to be taught that way when we already have enough confusion as it is watching what we see on TV?
Right.
I don't know, man. It's an argument that's going to go on to the end of time. We're going to get our people that do not agree with us at all. We're going to have our riders, man. This ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, and to be clear, I didn't like it when Marlon and Sean did it either, the white chicks.
I got respect for them. I could not stand it.
Right.
At all. I thought that shit was terrible. But you know what? They don't run away from it. They allow people to ask them that, and they'll talk about it honestly, and then it is what it is. I don't, and they did that. See, I kind of find it hard to believe that they did it for an agenda purpose. I think that they were just creative, and although we disagree with it, I think that they did that on their own merit. Mm-hmm. I still don't agree with it.
My thing, like, last thought from me, man, I think that when the people has been through the type of atrocities that we've been through in this country, it's certain things that just shouldn't be done anymore. It's certain things that should just be off the table, considering our history in this country. The same with other people, like Jewish people and anybody who's been through anything. There's certain things that they just not gonna do. You know what I mean?
Great
and we need to get there as well.
Great point. I'll end with this to ask you a question. I've never seen a Middle Eastern actor. I've never seen Bollywood do it. Maybe they have. I haven't seen it.
Right.
I've never seen an Asian do that.
Right.
I don't know if any Jewish actors. I know plenty of white actors have done it. Maybe they are Jewish, but when you start breaking down ethnic groups, in particular in acting in Hollywood, you only see certain people doing that, and you wonder why. Because certain standards will never be compromised, and our standards, for some weird reason, is always compromised.
That's the definition of selling out when they say that. Like, people think it's some spooky. Nah, it's just that you're willing to do anything for that dollar. You're willing to shuck, jive, put dress on, take it up the boot, all that stuff. You know what I mean? To be in the spotlight, to get money. That's the definition of selling out. A lot of these dudes, not saying in particular, but a lot of these dudes have sold out, and women.
Yeah, I had to put a button on it. I hope that they didn't sell out because I don't see the reason why they would have to sell out.
He did beat that case. Remember YG? That case. Maybe this was like Illuminati.
Oh man, there they go. Hey, but y'all, if it's real, it's real. Because certain dots just fucking connect and you can't unconnect them. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.